Year 1453. For more than 1,000 years, the city of Constantinople had stood as one of the most powerful fortresses in the world. It was the capital of the Byzantine Empire, a symbol of Christianity, wealth, and ancient civilization. But by the mid-15th century, the Byzantine Empire had shrunk to almost nothing. Outside the city walls, the Ottoman Empire had grown stronger and surrounded it from all sides. The rise of a young sultan. In 1451, Mehmed II, just 19 years old, became the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. 2 years later, at the age of 21, he made a decision that would change world history. He would take Constantinople, a city many rulers before him had failed to capture. To do this, he began preparing with extraordinary precision. He strengthened his army, improved his navy, and began gathering supplies for what would be one of the most ambitious sieges of all time. Preparation for the siege. First, Mehmed ordered the construction of a massive fortress on the European side of the Bosphorus, Rumeli Hizari, or the Fortress of Rumelia. It was built directly across from an older Ottoman fortress on the Asian side, Anadolu Hizari. Together, these two fortresses allowed the Ottomans to control all naval traffic between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. No aid could now reach the Byzantines by sea. The isolation of Constantinople had begun. Next, Mehmed brought in an engineer named Orban, a Hungarian who was skilled in casting large cannons. Under Mehmed's command, Orban built a weapon unlike any seen before, the Great Bombard, or Shahi Cannon. It was more than 8 meters long, firing stone balls weighing over 600 kilograms. It took dozens of oxen and hundreds of men just to move it into position. The siege begins. On April 6, 1453, the Ottoman army appeared before the mighty walls of Constantinople. The army numbered around 80,000 men, supported by hundreds of ships and more than 70 cannons. Inside the city, Byzantine Emperor Constantine XI Palaiologos had only about 7,000 defenders, a mix of Byzantine soldiers and a few hundred Genoese mercenaries led by Giovanni Giustiniani. The city was surrounded by triple defensive walls, some over 12 meters high and 5 meters thick. These had protected the city for centuries, but the Ottomans were determined to break through. Bombardment and stalemate. Day after day, the cannons fired. The thunder of gunpowder echoed across land and sea. Sections of the wall were damaged, but each night the Byzantines rushed to repair them. The defenders used everything they had: fire, stones, arrows, and even Greek fire, an ancient incendiary weapon that could burn on water. Despite the relentless bombardment, weeks passed without a breakthrough. The morale of both sides wavered. Food was running low inside the city, while the Ottomans faced disease and exhaustion in their camps. A brilliant strategy. Then Sultan Mehmed made a bold move. He would bypass the Byzantine chain that blocked the entrance to the Golden Horn, a massive iron barrier that kept Ottoman ships from entering the harbor. In a daring plan, he ordered his men to move ships overland. During one night, dozens of ships were placed on greased wooden logs and dragged across the Galata Hills by oxen and men. By dawn, they had reached the other side, the Golden Horn. The next morning, the Byzantines awoke to see Ottoman ships floating inside their harbor. It was an extraordinary military maneuver that shocked the entire city. The final assault. The siege lasted nearly 53 days. Both sides suffered heavy losses. Finally, on May 29, 1453, Sultan Mehmed ordered a final, all-out assault. Before dawn, the great cannons began to fire once more. Trumpets sounded. The air was filled with the cries of soldiers and the clash of steel. The first Ottoman assault failed. The second was pushed back. But during the third attack, the Janissaries, the elite Ottoman soldiers, moved forward with determination. Amid the chaos, a soldier named Ulyabatli Hassan carried the Ottoman flag toward the walls. He was struck by arrows, but continued climbing. Before falling, he managed to plant the flag on the ramparts, a moment that inspired the entire Ottoman army to surge forward. By sunrise, the defense had collapsed. Emperor Constantine XI was killed while fighting near the city gates. and the city that had stood for over 1,000 years had fallen. The aftermath. When Sultan Mehmed entered Constantinople, he rode directly to Hagia Sophia, the grand cathedral of the city. There, he dismounted his horse, picked up a handful of soil, and said, "From now on, no harm shall come to this city or its people." He ordered protection for the civilians, allowed those who fled to return, and began transforming Constantinople into the new capital of the Ottoman Empire. The city was renamed Istanbul, meaning to the city, and would become the heart of a vast empire for centuries to come.